Hey, everybody, and welcome back to For the Booze.
For the booze.
For the booze.
We're back. I like the sound of my voice much better now.
Oh, man. We got our stuff.
Finally.
We have our podcast set up.
It's a studio.
We have an entire studio in
That's
a
right.
music room. And yeah.
That could be dangerous. I'm staring at all my music equipment. I could get up at any moment and just go start playing guitar. It's right there.
We have our own space and our own area. We're not just in a corner of our bedroom anymore.
Yeah, right. It was just in the corner of a bedroom.
It literally was between a dresser and a closet door.
Yes. And now we're surrounded by all of this sound deadening stuff at our table and our LED lights because we do have plans to eventually start doing some video stuff.
Yep.
So
we got a couple decorations up on the wall.
I'm going to put my swords right here.
Yeah.
Boom, right here.
So exciting.
Yeah, maybe I should hang a guitar right here.
Oh,
I don't know.
a good idea.
Maybe we'll see what happens. But we're back this week. We don't have a set topic. This is going to be kind of like a bonus episode because I'm just excited to be back this week.
Yes.
So
excited.
We do have a haunted location we're going to talk about, but we have some other things I want to talk about too.
Yay.
Because, we're not stuffed underneath a hot blanket in the living room this week.
Yeah, that was pretty miserable.
It kind of sucked. We got it done though. But we
did wanted to for you guys.
That's right. And we got the episode done. And we do have like a few listener stories. I'm going to do one today.
Okay.
And somebody sent in some EVPs. Shout out to Joe Mattern, friend of the show.
Yay. Thanks, Joe.
We're going to get to those probably next week or the week after. I'm not sure yet in which order I want to do these. And Ben, don't think we forgot about you. We do have a Ben Spooky Corner coming up soon.
Yay.
So, a while back on this show, somewhere around the beginning, I couldn't tell you which episode it was, but we had our children on the show.
We did.
Momentarily. They weren't like on the show,
yeah.
But the people who have listened to the show for a while, it's no secret, the house we used to live in was haunted.
Yes.
Now, as far as I can tell, nothing came with us.
No, I don't think so. I haven't
felt
seen
nothing.
Felt
nothing.
Nope.
Nothing at all, right?
Nope.
It's been kind of nice.
Yeah.
I don't get any creepy vibes in this place whatsoever.
I do not. I kind of miss my Nana being there, though.
I get it, but she wasn't my Nana, so I'm good with it. But early on, we had the kids on the show, and if early listeners remember, our oldest son talked about being visited by this spirit. Or at least, he didn't know what it was.
Right.
But he said an older lady would come to his room, and she had no face, but she was nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So creepy.
Now, I have a sister who lives up in Massachusetts somewhere. I'm not going to say where because I'm not giving out her personal information nor her name. But she started listening to our show recently. And she heard that episode and it reminded her of a story. And I'm going to read this, what she wrote me. And she says, "Hey, I wanted to tell you something because until that podcast where you asked, redacted name, about seeing the old lady with no face, well, I'll tell you. So when my daughter was little, she had an imaginary friend that she called Boy, and we thought nothing of it. Well, one day, my friend Steve is over, and he heard her talking about her imaginary friend named Boy. So Steve asked her to describe what Boy looked like, because he had an imaginary friend as a child also. Well, her daughter said that he was brown. So we said, okay. So he's like your friend who was an African-American child. And she said, no, his clothes are brown. His hair is brown. His skin is brown. His eyes around his face are brown. Like he's just a brown entity. But she didn't say that right. Well, Steve-O is like, holy shit. My boy was black and white striped, and he didn't have a face. Like everything was black and white striped, right? So I put that out of my mind for obviously like 20 years or so. Until today, when you were saying that your son saw the lady and she didn't have a face. She was just whatever he described her as, I did not realize that they had seen a ghost and not imaginary friends.
Oh my God.
So I would actually...
That's so creepy.
I would need to look into this. Is this some kind of phenomena that people see as children? Like, maybe there's some kind of faceless spirits that maybe aren't, they're not malevolent or anything, but they make themselves known to children, because they say that, like, animals and children can kind of see through the veil.
Yeah, they're on, like, almost these different wavelengths and have, like, different senses.
Well, it's also because as we get older, I'll go into the science of, we have this thing called the pineal gland. And they say as you get older, like, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's supposed to have to do with, like, how you perceive things and your imagination.
Right.
And, it just kind of, like, allows you to see things. But they say as you get older, you kind of lose that.
Right. Well, not everybody's imagination is what it is when they were kids.
And children's minds are open.
Right.
And animals, they just don't understand the difference. So they, and they see differently than we do. So I'd be curious if anybody out there listening knows anything about this. Like, are there more children or even listeners who maybe experienced something like this when they were children?
Oh, that's, I'd definitely be interested to find that out, because I think that a lot of people, especially with paranormal and, like the spirit world and stuff, a lot of people are scared to kind of open up about maybe things that have happened to them or things that they have seen in their life, especially like as kids, and they just chalk it up to a nightmare and kind of just push it in that box as they get older. And maybe,
possibly,
and maybe hearing a story or, something will bring up a memory for somebody about something. Yeah,
that could be. I wonder if it has anything to do with the phenomena called the black-eyed children. Now, that's creepy. I don't know if you know what the black-eyed children are, but they've been caught on camera and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if there's some kind of correlation between the two. I'm not sure. I would have to look into this more. Maybe we could do our first non-location episode. Maybe we could talk about something like that, where we discuss the, kind of the origins and stories behind the black-eyed children, and maybe we could find a link in between that and what children see in animals.
Faceless spirits.
Yeah, it's very creepy. It's very weird, and it's it's very strange, because I hadn't even thought about that. We were so used to all that stuff at our house that when he was on and he was saying that, like, I guess I was desensitized to it,
right? Because
we lived with it. So I never thought anything of it. And then when my sister hit me up about that and said her friend also had something.
That's so crazy.
It really got the wheels turning.
Because you remember when he was like telling us, I'm not sure if he like completely remembers, but like we remember when he said that story.
That creeped
100%. Like we were standing in his room and he was telling us this.
While we were saying goodnight to him.
Right. And he said he'd seen it like in the room and then outside the window.
I remember, I do remember.
That just gave me goosebumps saying that. I don't like that.
He said, there are ghosts outside the window.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, they're just out there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So I started grilling him about it. And I was like, are they mean? And he was like, I don't know. They just stay outside. And that's when he had brought up the old lady. And I was like, well, is she mean or evil? And he was like, no, she's very nice.
Yeah.
But I remember asking him about this about a year ago, or maybe a little sooner, and he doesn't remember telling us this.
Right. He was probably 4 or 5 maybe at the time, I want to say.
Yeah, and he's like 9 now.
Yeah.
But
oh, my gosh.
He doesn't remember this now.
Right.
And I've never heard his brother say anything about it either. But it is very, very strange.
Ugh. So creepy.
It's very weird. So, again, Booze Crew, if you're out there, and you have a similar story maybe from your childhood that you remember, or maybe one of your kids has said something, write us in and tell us all about it. And this could be like an ongoing thing, because I would like to know more about this.
Yeah, I think we could do like a series maybe of listener stories.
Creepy.
That come from kids.
Yeah. Or it doesn't have to be faceless people either. It could be anything that your children say they've seen.
Absolutely.
Because children are, they're like a little paranormal antenna.
They are. It's crazy, because my paranormal experiences started when I was like 8, 7.
I think
7 or 8 maybe.
Mine started probably around the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the 5th grade, I think I had my first one. So, I mean, it just kind of lends to that whole idea that children are they're like a little gateway for it. So.
Yeah. And I definitely didn't see any black-eyed children or faceless people.
Black-eyed children has been kind of like a newer thing.
I've always had like feelings, I guess, of like something being there, like around me. I've only ever seen something as an adult that I remember.
Are you going to tell me you're psychic?
No.
A medium?
No.
I'd say you're more medium rare. Personally, I'm just saying. Pretty high.
I think I'm a little empathic, if anything, but I'm not going to be like, I'm an empath.
Empathic. I almost stabbed my foot the other day and you didn't care. There was no empathy there. I'm just kidding.
God.
So, yeah, just send in your stories. I know we keep going round and round about, but we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. We were on our way to the mountain when we heard this story.
Yep.
Which, by the way, we are in Utah. I know we've already said it. We've done 2 other episodes, but now you can actually hear what we're saying. We made it.
Now it doesn't sound weird.
Such a long drive, and this whole process has been crazy. And like we said on the last one, National Moving Company, never ever hire them. We finally got all our stuff, and about 80% of it was damaged or broken. So,
yep. Super cool.
Yeah.
We love that.
It has been the worst experience I think I've ever had with anything, honestly.
We kind of made a claim on the papers that they brought with them.
Yeah, we got to follow that up somehow.
And we definitely are going to be following up on that.
Absolutely.
And filing a more, what am I trying to say?
You're just going to chase it down.
I guess.
I got what you're saying.
It didn't feel very official when I was filling out all the stuff on the bottom of the paper.
He probably didn't do anything with it anyways.
But I definitely took a picture of it and have it for my documentation purposes.
So leave a nice review on National, even if you didn't hire them. Who cares?
Yeah. And it's crazy because we hired this company to move. And so another company came to pick up our stuff.
And then another company picked it up from them.
And then another company picked it up from them. And then they dropped it off to us. Like it was insanely ridiculous how many companies this all went through. I don't know if that's like a normal thing. I've never used a moving company before, but super bad. Do not recommend.
Okay. Well, this isn't the moving podcast.
It is not.
We just want to throw it out there. So don't ever hire them. Be smart. Go with somebody. Get U-Haul. Yeah.
Yeah, but we love Utah, though.
Yeah, love Utah. Love Utah. Good looking for lots of spooky stuff. I have a question I want to throw out to listeners, too. Skinwalker Ranch is not far from here.
Right.
I've been avoiding doing an episode on Skinwalker Ranch.
You have.
I kind of have an already, I already kind of have an idea of what I think about it. But if it's something that, you listening are interested in hearing more about, let us know. I'll do it if you want it. Now, something else that I don't think we've brought up since we've gotten here, but something kind of important happened in that month long where we were gone.
Yeah.
And that is that Destination Fear finally made their premiere on YouTube.
That they did.
Now, we left Florida, which means we didn't put out an episode the first video they put up, right?
Right.
So we've done 2 episodes since then, but we haven't brought it up. And I didn't want to, I wanted to be on our own stuff when we talked about it. But the fundraiser kicked off, they made their money. Mm-hmm. They went to YouTube. What do you think about it?
I like it. Okay. I like it because they kind of kept it very similar to the way Destination Fear was done, where they, kind of read the packets. They're still doing the road trip. And
I mean, they are keeping it the same show.
And the way they investigate and things like that. None of that has really changed, but I really like that they can be more themselves.
It's really strange to me to hear them say certain words that they couldn't say on TV.
Oh, like bad words?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like F-bombs and S words. And I like it. I do like the show because it does still feel like Destination Fear. Mm-hmm. It's, Project Fear now. I'm sorry. I want to get that right. But
however,
it does still feel like Destination Fear. But.
Yeah.
And there is a big but.
Yeah, I know.
And the problem is I knew this was going to be a problem the first time I went on to YouTube and I saw them not in a Project Fear video, but they were in a Sam and Colby video. I don't have a problem with Sam and Colby. They're kind of like the Gen Z, you know, they're pretty typical like Gen Z, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've watched them from time to time.
Right.
Them just kind of like Paranormal Files. They've kind of had their moment where it felt fake and then it kind of felt real and then it felt fake again. Which, shout out to anybody who follows any of those YouTube, you know, groups. I guess Colby Brock battled testicular cancer and he beat it. So good for him. I'm not here trying to say anything bad about them. But when I saw Dakota and Chelsea on their channel, it made me worry. And ever since their first video, it seems that every one of their videos is slept with a demon last night.
Yeah, the titles are kind of, I don't know if it's maybe just like a YouTube thing for like attention, like grab your attention, because like when you watch the show.
The word you're thinking of is clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like the thumbnail pictures and things like that, they're very, I'll just say YouTube-y.
They're clickbaity.
Because they just are. But when you watch the show, it doesn't feel like that, what you get from other YouTubers.
It doesn't.
Who do that.
It does still feel like Destination Fear.
Right.
But it bothers me that they keep using the term demon for everything now.
Right.
Because every channel that we have ever watched that started using that word has really gone to the wayside.
Yes.
Honestly, the only one left that I swear doesn't do that, at least not that much, is Amy's Crypt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still have faith in that channel, and it's sad because she's probably the least recognized of them all.
100%. We love Amy's Crypt.
We do. I'm still a little mad at him for not coming on the show, but it is what it is.
It's sad.
You know, and of course, you know, the Foreman brothers, you know, I'm still down with them. You know, they do use clickbaity titles, but when you watch them, for the most part, it still feels like them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it worries me that already out of the gate, after everybody donated all that money, that I'm worried that they're going to start going into more of entertainment value versus actual, like, looking for ghosty stuff.
Right. I truly hope not, because they are some of my most favoritist people to watch.
They are.
Absolutely love them. I love their investigation style, and I really enjoy how, like, you know, they can joke around a lot more, and like they can just be themselves kind of on a road trip.
Who's going to be mad at having to watch Chelsea every week in yoga pants? Nobody's going to be mad at that. I love yoga pants. It's a personal thing, but it gives me pause and it makes me worry. So I will be I'm going to keep watching them, you know, but I'm going to be very critical every time that they use that term. And
right.
And the video they uploaded this morning, because if everybody doesn't know, we always record on Friday. Of course it says demon in it. Of course it does.
Does it?
It does.
I've been at work all day.
I believe it says chained to a demon.
Stop.
Or something like that.
Come on.
Which is like 3 in a row now.
Just use like the name of the location that you're going to. Seriously.
And don't get us wrong. What? Like, we love the show and we love them, and we're not trying to, you know, discourage anybody from watching, because we'll be watching.
Absolutely.
But we like to consider us all a bunch of at least like somewhat critical thinkers when it comes to this. Like, we're all pretty big fans of the paranormal and the search for it. And deep down within the roots of the show, that's what we are about. That's what we're about.
100%.
Is, you know, finding the truth, not finding the entertainment value.
Right.
And I mean,
do we enjoy it? Yes. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being an entertaining show too, if you're doing both.
Right.
But we haven't brought this up in a while, and if you're going to be doing this for entertainment value, then you need to tell people, because people are very impressionable out there, and there are people still out there that think Omar Gosh is a legit ghost hunter.
Or J Station, or not J Station. What's the one I'm thinking of?
You're thinking of oh man, what is his name?
I don't
Jasco.
know. Jasco, thank you.
Which I think he's more about, like, he's got a new stalker every week, but or like Mo Sargi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like those guys, like, they're super annoying. I'm just gonna be real. They're super annoying. But their videos, like, people think that their stuff is real because of because they say they're doing it.
Right.
And especially like children. I'll bring up another instance. Our son.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him. I don't know the name of the channel, but if anybody catches this reference and you know what I mean, they did a video called The Dolphin Man. And it's basically just a man in a latex suit. And my son thinks it's real.
Stop.
And it is the worst acting. Everything is so poorly done. But the point is that impressionable people will think it's real.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I just think there should be something there to like, you got to tell people that you're not really doing the thing that you're claiming. Like it's like a TV drama or something. For
entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely.
That should be the disclaimers.
Absolutely. I would love more than anything for people to have to do that. And that's all thanks, the Shape started that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched his videos in a while, but he's still at it and he's still doing big things. He's growing, so he's keeping people honest. So
I like it.
But, awesome. Now, we've been doing topics that are in the area. We did Tuele Hospital, and we did Spring Canyon. Now, the reason that we're kind of doing it the way we're doing it this week is, one, I just wanted to get back on the mic and just talk about some stuff that's going on, and like the story with my sister, and I wanted to bring up Destination or Project Fear. I do have a topic that we're going to talk about. Unfortunately, it's not even well known enough for it to be its own episode. So we're going to throw it into this one, and we're going to do it right after an ad break.
And now, Booze Crew, back to the show.
So to round out this Utah adventure, we're going to end this at Salt Lake City, which is the most popular city in Utah. Mm-hmm. And this was the first place I had looked at to actually do an episode in Utah, but we never did because I could never find enough about it. And it's called the Rio Grande Railroad Depot.
Oh.
Okay, it says, many spirits find this beautiful building a lovely place to party, to worry, and relive unpleasant memories. Mm. Now, everything I'm reading is coming from hauntedhouses.com. We've used this website before a lot for research and stories and stuff like that. It's a great website. So if you ever want to look up haunted stuff, check them out, hauntedhouses.com. I can't speak highly enough about them. It's great, and it's always well written. So
yes, it is. I'm excited. This sounds ominous.
It seems creepy. One can describe this old train depot building as a beautifully renovated, restored Salt Lake City gem from the city's past, now appropriately the home of the Utah State Historical Society, the organization responsible for buying the rundown building for $1 and spearheading its return to its former glory. $1.
One whole dollar?
Whole dollar. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
While I can't find a detailed account of its specific description, one can gather it was built to give the people an eyeful of beauty and grandeur. A solidly built, yet artistically stone and brick structure, sporting the architecture popular in 1910. It looks like it has stained glass, lovely masonry work, and probably has more lovely wood and stone craftsmanship inside as well. There is a basement or a cellar area, and 2 floors with some balconies on the 2nd floor. The building now houses the offices of the Utah State Historical Society, their large library, resource center, various exhibits, and a restaurant.
Wow.
Utah History Research Center hours are from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's free admission. Anybody can go. A little bit of history. In 1910, this grand building was constructed by the Rio Grande Western Railroad, reflecting not only the prosperity and growth of Salt Lake City during this time, but also of the competitive spirit which existed between the established Union Pacific Railroad and this up-and-coming competitor, the Rio Grande Western Railroad. So this has ties back to the old big railroad money. We all know that early 1900s, railroad, there was a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, yeah.
This is before OSHA, you know.
People, yeah. 100% before OSHA.
Crazy stuff.
And I mean, just in the construction alone, or even hauling the things there before the construction, like there's so many accidents when things are being constructed.
These places are always just rife with accidents and accidental deaths and people getting injured because it was just get the job done. They didn't care about people back then.
Right.
You know, the only people that mattered were the barons, the people with money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sad.
Lots of people dead. Now, the man behind this railroad line was George Gold. He spent $750,000 of his own money to build this impressive depot, which was quite a chunk of change in 1910. Now, from this Salt Lake City depot, George built rail lines to the coast and managed to break the monopoly of the established Union Pacific, but lost his railroad empire as the end result. Over the years from 1910 to 1947, this building operated as a railroad depot. Many outsiders came to Salt Lake City, a bustling city of economic opportunity for both Mormons and Gentiles, except during the 1920s and Depression years, which hit Salt Lake City very hard.
Wow.
Now, the World War II years brought a new industry to Salt Lake City. The industries needed for war and defense, which found a home there after the end of World War II as well. And from 1948, the Rio Grande Western Railroad continued to house various businesses, but by the 1970s, the building was badly in need of renovation and repair. Though solidly built to last, 60-plus years had taken their toll, and luckily in 1977, the Utah State Historical Society stepped up to the plate, bought this immense building for just $1, and did a fantastic job restoring this building to its former glory. George Gold would be very pleased.
Wow.
Pictures of this place are beautiful. This looks like everything you would think of like old world construction. It's very nice.
So they actually kept it.
They kept it looking all original.
Wow. That's cool.
So we might have to go check this place out. We can just walk through. Walk through.
Absolutely.
Be like, hey, Utah Society, let us podcast in your building. Come on. Now, manifestations. Many ghosts have called this building home. The hauntings were first noticed by the living in 1940. Now, evidence of a tragedy which resulted from an engaged couple's heated breakup. The apparition of a very beautiful black-haired woman wearing an old-fashioned purple dress haunts the ladies' room and the Rio Grande Cafe. Long ago, this woman was struck by a train as she frantically went to pick up the engagement ring that her fiancé had thrown on the tracks in a fit of anger after they had a quarrel, a fight which ended their engagement. This lady is actually very well known in the area. They call her the Purple Lady of the Rio Grande.
Ooh.
There are stories about her, but she is the notable figure from that building.
Wow, that's cool.
Now, restless, unknown spirits. Security guards have heard and felt the presence of an unknown, restless spirit who walks the balcony and the lobby area. The living have also seen the apparition of a man walking around the first floor. The spirit is probably the same one heard and felt in the balcony and lobby area. Could this be the ghost of George Gold, pondering his business woes as well as keeping an eye on the living? Or perhaps this entity is a manager of this depot who truly loved his job and didn't want to leave it. Or perhaps it's the ex-fiancé of the woman mentioned above. Now, the ghosts, they claim the ghosts have parties here too.
Oh, ghost parties,
Ghost parties, spooky,
Love that.
spooky get-togethers. One unsuspecting security guard crashed an unauthorized ghostly celebration going on in the cellar when he went down to check the area, because he had noticed that the lights were going on and off all by themselves. Having been busted, the ghost quickly vanished.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Well, they say, is it still haunted? And they say, yes, indeed. The ghosts continue to make this building their home, unable or unwilling to go to the other side. Now, the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad Depot building, which is now the home of the Utah State Historical Society, is 1 block north of West 4th and 1 block west of Pioneer Park, near the corner of West 3rd Street on South Rio Grande Street. It says the haunted paranormal stories are written by Julie Carr, so big shout out to Julie Carr.
Wow, thanks, Julie.
Now, like I said, there's claims going on there, but it's really hard to find anything like particular about this location. There's just not a whole lot going on.
Right. Still, definitely a place worth noting and reading what we can find about it.
Absolutely.
I think that sounds super cool, and I would definitely like to go visit and do a walkthrough.
It's not
and
that
maybe,
far.
Hopefully, see the purple lady.
You know, and there's lots of pictures of people like on Instagram posting like going there and stuff. So,
Interesting.
It's a cool story that seems to have a lot going on. There's just not a lot about it.
Right.
You know, so it really, like, for a place that has such a memorable like figure in the story is like the purple lady, kind of like the white lady of Spring Canyon.
Right.
Why are there no accounts of it online?
I don't know. Maybe people just get too freaked out to say anything. I don't know.
I can't. No, because people love to talk online.
Yeah, this is true.
You know, a lot of times when I see stuff like that, I wonder, is it just something that the location puts together to draw people in?
Could be.
You know?
Could be, for sure. I mean, that could definitely be a possibility.
I love this. I love the idea of like a haunted train station because undoubtedly people died there.
Oh, absolutely.
And I wasn't able to like go and search for, in fact, this lady was killed by a train or anything.
Right.
But I could see that happening. And it's a very romantic story, you know.
Is it romantic though?
Well, I mean, yeah, they get into a fight. He throws the ring. She dies for the ring, and then they say his soul may possibly wander the halls too. So yeah, there's some romanticism.
Maybe he felt like a jerk.
Maybe she should have been nicer to him. You don't know what she did to deserve that ring. You don't know. Can't always be the guy's fault.
She
Megan
probably just spoke out of turn in the 20s.
Oh gosh, or I don't know. Probably actually, it sounds about right. But I don't know. There's so much to it, but not a lot of information. I wish there was so much more because I would just love this idea of a haunted train station. I think it's great. And because we talked about one other train station.
Yeah.
And I don't remember which one that was now.
It was so from Amy's Crypt.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That wasn't even one we got to do. It was one that we had to talk about.
Yep.
So we have a very limited amount of information about this. Okay. It's real. The place is real.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who claim that things happen there. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot to go off of.
Right.
You know, there's a purple lady and
ghost parties,
some other stuff
ghost
going
parties,
on. And the ghosties getting down, you know.
What?
Yeah, you know.
Clubbing it up in the basement.
24 karat gold and everything, you know. Take Funky Town. But I still have to ask you. Is it real? I know this is going to be a hard one to judge because there's not a lot to go off of, but it is a cool story, and there is a little bit of stuff there. So do you think that the Purple Lady and the spirit of George Gold and all that, do you think any of it could be real?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
Solid maybe.
Solid 50-50, I guess.
I would love to know more. I definitely would like to think that these accounts and these stories are real. I would love to go visit and find out for myself. But again, there's really nothing but like an article or two to go off of.
I mean, there's news articles and stuff, but it's just all the same information.
Right. I don't know. I want it to be, for sure. It sounds like the train, like you said, the train depot thing. Love it. Love a good haunted train depot
There's
thing.
something creepy about there's something creepy about a train depot in general.
Right. Absolutely.
And a haunted train depot to me just sounds like extra spooky for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the spookiest videos we've seen are people at train stations.
Yes.
Because there's always like that, what was that noise? Because it's like always off in the distance and it like echoes through.
Yeah.
And there's always a bunch of shadows being cast. I don't know. Haunted train depot just seems very scary to me.
It does. It does. So, yeah, I'm going to say like 50-50. So, 50-50. What about you?
I mean, unfortunately, I think you had to see it coming. I'm going to give it about the same.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I want to believe it. And I even love the stories, like the in-depth story of like, they got into a fight and then he threw the ring at her and she had to die for it. She needed that ring. It was a symbol of their love. And then she got murked by a train, so... I
don't mean to laugh. It's sad.
It was like 100 years ago. You can laugh. But it's just such an interesting story that I do want it to be real.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that it's so close to us. We can go see for ourselves.
Yeah.
And if any of you are out there and you're close enough, you should go see for yourselves too.
Let us know.
Yeah.
For sure.
And if you've ever been there, let us know. Like, what is it like? Did you think maybe you saw something there, or did you get a feeling there?
Because Rio Grande.
There are lots of people, like, because there was like little clips and different websites I looked at where people like posting pictures on Instagram of being there, but everybody looks super happy and doesn't look like anybody's very
terrified.
Scared. No. But I mean, look, we went to Ashley's.
Yeah.
And there were lots of terrifying stories there, and we had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
So. There's a lot of like lesser well-known haunted places around here that don't really have a lot of backstory to them, and I'm thinking maybe we'll just cram a bunch into one episode or something where we'll just talk about five different little locations.
That'd be cool.
Because I
like that idea.
I think they need to be heard, but there's just not necessarily going to be enough information about them.
Right.
But there's so many, and they're just so cool, and there's like lots of little places. Because even that place, I believe that. There's like a theme park out here called Evermore, which I'm not going to get into how bad I want to go. You already know. So bad. So it's like it's like every dream of mine. I just want to go to this place. But I think even they have some haunted stuff out there. There's something about Utah. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, it's Skinwalker Ranch and all that. Whatever. Calm down. I mean, pioneers came out here. When the Mormons came out here, they came out here on, wagons and horses and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, we live in the Old West. This is where cowboys and people shot each other in the streets.
I know. And it's crazy to think, too, because, like, you drive around, like, the towns now, and they're just, towns and cities with pavement. And, like, when these people or those people got here, there was literally just vast wilderness.
You know what there was? Fifth Water Hot Spring Trails.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh man, that place was so cool. I cannot wait to go back.
Oh, I know. Our youngest son has already brought it up 3 times asking me when we're going.
Oh.
But it was like that. It was just trails through the woods, and like we live out here, like there's cougars out here and bears and wolves and rams and moose, and so there's lots of stuff out here, people got murdered by. So I would like to do, maybe not next week, but at some point do like a little collective episode where just because I want people to hear the stories. I just want them to be told.
Oh, for sure.
We don't even necessarily have to have our own opinion on it. I mean, I'm still going to ask you, but I don't even think that really matters when it comes to this. I just think these little stories should get a little light shine on them. That's all.
Like it. I like it.
I mean, that's pretty much it. We just wanted to get back on these glorious microphones.
Yes.
I love the way my voice sounds.
It feels so much better. It feels more righter.
But coming next week, we are going to be full back. We are going to be back on a regular episode, and I'm looking forward to it. And I haven't even told you about this yet.
You usually don't.
I know. You didn't even know what we were doing today.
Nope. I just sit down and I'm like, okay, go.
I did get an email from an author who wrote a paranormal book that wants to come on the show.
Stop it.
I haven't answered yet. I want to look into the book a little bit and make sure it's a good fit for the show.
Stop.
But I know that I'm pretty sure they are looking to promote the book, and we may have them come on at some point.
I would love to do that.
Well, let's look at the book first.
I'm just like, yes, go.
This is why I'm the producer of the show, because I try to be like, I am excited about it too. Like, don't get me wrong. The first thing I thought was, oh yeah, that's cool. But then I thought, let's make sure that it's a good fit for our listeners and how we feel about it.
I get it. Gosh.
And hey, we're out here in God's country now. And if there's, I've been thinking about this a lot. There's a lot of little haunted locations around here where there's a lot of campsites. And, I don't think Camp Place would be very upset if, our podcast had a bunch of listeners that wanted to come out and, book a campsite and maybe do a little ghost hunting or something.
I like where you're going with this.
Just saying, if we can't get sponsored enough to make it happen, we'll just do it ourselves.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
If all these things sound appealing to you guys listening, let us know. I can't say tweet anymore. God, it makes me so mad. X at me. God, it sounds so weird.
I don't like it.
Facebook us. X us. It sounds so weird.
It sounds wrong.
It kind of sounds dirty.
Yeah.
But
that's what I meant by wrong.
Anyways, we're going to get carried away here. But where can they reach us?
They can find us.
Why'd you say they like that? What do you mean? What do you mean they? Respect these listeners, dude.
You can find us on Instagram at forthebooze_podcast and on Facebook at forthebooze.
You can also find us on X at forthebooze.
Twitter.
Just, which app it is. And on YouTube at forthebooze if you want to listen to it like that. Also, we are going to get back on doing the Twitter thing, or the TikTok thing. Sorry, now I got Twitter on the brain. We are going to get back on the TikTok thing.
X on the brain.
Yeah, whatever. So if you'd like to support us in that way too, go over and follow us on TikTok, and like the videos and comment and all that stuff. That would actually probably help get us some notice on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't forget, as always, we want your listener stories. So send them in, or suggestions. If you want to hear about a place, let us know, because we
can't find them all.
I mean,
help us.
There's tons of them out there, but
there's so many.
I think we would rather do the ones that you want to hear versus just picking one out of the air,
Absolutely.
So if you have something you want to hear about, a bonus, if it's a small one that not a lot of people know about, I think that'd be even cooler, because we've had those before.
Yep, but love those.
Those are my favorite. And one other thing, 5 stars, rate and review.
That's
everywhere you listen to the podcast. It's the best way to get us any kind of notice out there in the world.
It is, and it truly helps us out and truly helps us to get this
move forward,
going, and where we want it to be.
Hey,
and we have big dreams.
We'll put together our own impromptu get-together, but it would be a lot easier if we could get sponsored to do it.
Yeah.
And
we'd love to meet you guys.
I'm sure Creepy Crate's still out there, so make sure you support them too. I don't even know if we have
Crate.
an ongoing thing anymore, but it was still pretty dope. So,
it was cool. Check out Creepy Crate.
Check them out anyways. The promo code might still work. I have no idea.
That is Booze5, BOOS, and the number 5.
I'm glad you remembered it, because it's been a little while.
That was my part. Of course I remember.
But I guess this is where we're going to end it, and yeah.
Yep, we are happy to be back.
So back. We're back.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.